everyone. Welcome to episode 18, season 2 of Diverse Stories podcast. Today, Elliott and I have his brother, Eden, who Elliott's going to tell you guys about because there's a bit of a family story, interesting one here.
Yeah. Thanks, man, for the intro. So this is Eden from USA, Michigan. How you doing,
Hey, everybody?
So the first question is, what are your hobbies you were doing since the lockdown?
Oh, since the lockdown, I've been playing quite a bit of games on my Switch that you and I actually had talked about.
Yeah.
And I've been collecting Pokemon cards more than ever. And that's actually a hobby that you and I have shared that we've found, which has been a lot of fun.
Yeah. I think Miranda, have you heard of Pokemon before?
No, I don't play Pokemon games or any of that stuff too much. No, I never have.
Basically, it's a Japanese card game from Japan from 96, and is bigger than ever nowadays.
Huh.
The second question, when did you discover your lost family?
I discovered you guys when your older brother, my younger brother, Jack, reached out to me. He wasn't actually looking for me, as he tells it. He was actually looking for our grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
As they had lost touch, over the years, and through his ancestry or genealogy or however he was doing it, he came across my name and reached out to me on Facebook. And I didn't believe him at first, Elliott. I kind of thought it was like a scammer, or someone was trying to get like my credit card information or something like that. So it took a little bit of convincing, but over the course of a couple of days, we started chatting each other up. And, there was just too many coincidences for there not to be something substantive there, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And so, so the way that I found you guys is your older brother and my now younger brother, Jack, reached out to us on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And, he wasn't actually looking for me initially. He was looking for our grandfather because he had lost touch with them over the years. And somehow or another, my name had come up, and he looked me up on Facebook and reached out to me. And I didn't believe him at first, Elliott. I thought he was like a scammer. I thought he was someone that was trying to get my credit card information or something like that. And so I didn't quite believe him at first, but over the course of a couple of days, we got to know each other. And there was just a lot of things that he knew about me and my side of the family that you couldn't really find out from a general internet search. So we got to know each other a little bit better, and we ended up meeting everybody virtually first, which was really cool to get to know all you guys. And then I'm lucky enough where I'm actually a Canadian citizen, so I got to come and visit you guys out in Vancouver. So it was a great 2 weeks out there. Vancouver's an awesome town, and we can't wait to come back and visit.
This is a question that me and Miranda wrote into the questions. Was, how did you feel about meeting your newfound brothers?
It was pretty exciting. I've kind of grown up with just my one younger half brother, Micah. He was born when I was 8, and so he and I have kind of grown up together. But to find more family is always a good thing, and I think it's always a good thing to have good people in your life. I've grown up, Elliott, as someone who's family is not necessarily the people that you're born, but the people that you choose to keep around. If that makes any sense. And to meet all you guys and have all you guys be fantastic human beings is just a huge bonus. I'm very excited about the whole situation.
Yeah, it is a crazy story.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Elliott told me that you guys went to not just you, Ian, visiting Elliott in Vancouver, but also about the trip all of you guys had in Victoria.
That was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun meeting. Well, I met her, but going to see Nanny, our grandmother. These are all potential follow-up guests on your show if you ever wanted to
Yeah.
follow up on this topic, because these are some of my favorite people now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. We initially planned on doing some camping, Miranda,
Yeah.
but the weather proved otherwise. So we
Didn't
all huddled up.
cooperate.
Yeah, we all huddled up in the house and we made it work.
Yeah.
Oops. Okay.
Have any pets?
I do. I have one that's laying between my lap right now.
A cat, I guess, or dog.
A dog here. Let's see if I can do this gracefully enough and flip the camera around.
Without
Rudy.
interruption, eh? Ah, there he
There we
is.
go.
What's his name?
That's Rudy.
Rudy. Oh.
Mm.
And we also have a cat named Gryffindor, like the house in Harry Potter.
Yeah. Yeah. It's too bad I'm allergic to cats and dogs because I both love those creatures.
Well, we always joke that we have Halloween animals because, as you saw, we have a black dog and our cat is bright orange. So we have Halloween pets at our house.
Oh. Well, I went to visit some relatives on my mother's side to see the Sydney Olympics in 2000.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And in one of my aunt's houses, I was actually eating breakfast one day, and they have this orange ginger cat, and it climbs up onto the table and drinks all of my milk. So then I have to start my whole breakfast again.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So terrible.
Oh,
I even wrote
no.
that on the blog, by the way,
Oh.
because it was too funny.
Yeah. This is a question for you. Have you told any of your friends about this podcast?
Yep. We have a small circle of friends, and we don't get to go out very much, obviously, because of the way the world is with the pandemic. But all of our friends and family know about you guys, and they're all excited to meet you guys. If the world ever calms down, you guys can come and visit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure Elliott would like to go and visit some of his other family back in England sometime when things are really much more lifted than right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Well, Elliott was telling me as well that we have some shared history between the two of us of places to go see in England. So we were going to try in the future when the world opens up to organize a trip with the three of us, Jack, Elliott, and I, and see our great grandparents' old stomping grounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Elliott's mom was actually just went to England to visit her mother,
Yeah.
to do a little checkup on her, right, Elliott?
Yeah. She is an interesting woman, let's say it that way. And anything for us to ask to us?
Yeah, I wanted to ask the two of you, what was the inspiration behind the podcast? What motivated you guys to team up and make this? Because I think you guys make a pretty great dynamic duo.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, as we know, 2020 was a disaster year.
Yeah.
So Elliott was just thinking months and months and months, doing painting and all this other guitar playing around stuff. And then he was thinking on the side, what else could we do? And then he comes on the phone with me one day and talks with me about this idea about a podcast. I'm like, well, I'm not too sure about that, because you know how like media stuff goes terrible if you don't watch what you're doing. So I wasn't too sure about that idea, but then there is the aspect too of how people like myself and Elliott aren't always treated very well in terms of like abilities and lack of government services.
Or even represented, right?
Like
There's not a whole lot of podcasts like you guys out there.
Yeah, like we're just trying to do inclusion of people of both types, people who don't have challenges, intellectual challenges, and people like myself that do, and Elliott as well, and others out there. Because it's not just about physical disabilities and wheelchairs.
No, there's a lot of invisible things that are going on as well.
Yeah, but people just don't see that in the world, and they just want to reject us from work or something like that when you're trying to work hard at job searching.
I understand.
So basically, we wanted to try to avoid the label of statistics matter and try to get people to understand that, like, oh, we're just like everybody else, even though to people, they may not want to think it that way, but tough luck.
I would agree with that, and I don't think I was necessarily in that camp before meeting Elliott, but I don't see how someone could meet the two of you and have that mindset anymore. I think both of you guys have done a great job with this, and I look forward to seeing what the future brings for the podcast.
Yeah, and we have a website too, so you can check that out.
Oh, I saw the merch website, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys got to plug that.
Yeah, we have so much merch at my house, it's ridiculous.
Well,
Did
we
you guys
have
finally get some big sizes, like a 2X? That's
Yeah.
what I need.
well, we have these are the t-shirts I think Elliott's talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mine's white, his is black.
Who designed the logo, you guys?
It's pretty good to make your own t-shirts, but it's hard to like advertise it.
Yeah, I think you just got to be consistent, right? It's just always making sure you're present in people's mind and plugging it where you can, and just mentioning it, because your best advertisement is other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had interesting guests on our show previous couple episodes plus last season. We've had one from our a couple from Elliott, our production places that we went to for plays, right? So who and both were intellectually challenged. So it was interesting to talk with them, because there's always the facing problems too of, like, when you're collaborating on a project, working with people who aren't intellectually challenged versus us, and sometimes that doesn't work. So then you have to go the other route, and maybe that other route works sometimes, meaning challenge people working with other intellectually challenged people, so you can get the view from the other person of like what they're going through and see if you relate.
Well, in Miranda, that's a universal thing as well, because even with quote unquote neurotypical people, everybody communicates differently, right? And just because your boss gives you just instructions in a certain way doesn't mean that's my best way of understanding them or executing them or any other thing. So that's a universal thing with everybody. But I think, to your point, the things that you guys are experiencing isn't as well represented, and that's why it's a good idea to have podcasts like this.
And that's why I think that, like, at work, when you're saying what you are, right, it's basically not as simple for a person like myself to grasp, because I like to have things written or drawn up. Talking in a lecturing type of session doesn't always work for me. It never has, even though I've tried
Everybody
it.
learns differently, right?
Yeah. Well, it's more complicated for me because I have to have one-on-one teaching for certain things. And so, yeah. And that's how I got my diploma from many years of being in a private one-to-one teaching school.
What did you get your degree in?
Oh, just a grade 12 diploma.
Good for you.
I did a lot of schoolwork there, and I also did correspondence courses to get there.
Good for you. Good for you for sticking with it.
With the teachers and the principal, who was unique, meaning like very understanding of like what I needed help with on occasions and stuff like that. Not like the typical public school principal where you're sent to the office for trouble.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's the case more often than not, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So, yeah, that's just and that's just part of my point, part of our Elliot's and my idea of like inclusion, you see. So we can't just have people lay us wrong word, get us off the radar and not think about opportunities for us or whatever it is,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
including friendships for that matter.
it is.
I was gonna just say also, Elliot, that this also would go for like friendships, right? You don't have many friends when they find out, oh, you're intellectually challenged or something. It's harder to make friends, is what I'm saying, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's also the same way of filmmaking. Like, it's, each story has a different premise.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, there's more of a description of our website if you look there, even on the very front.
mhm.
The title, it says what the podcast is about. And it gives
Oh
you
yeah.
a glimpse of like what we review in every episode.
Yep. Absolutely.
Different entertaining topics because we don't want it to be all boring serious.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not fun. And it's not showing our personalities then.
Exactly.
So, what's your plans for Christmas?
For Christmas, what we'll probably do is sleep in a little bit. My wife Megan, who you met, she is crazy about Christmas, Elliot. So as soon as Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving is done, I should clarify. As soon as American Thanksgiving is done, she takes all the decorations down and all the Christmas decorations go up like within hours. And so when Christmas Day for me, I'm trying to sleep in, make a nice breakfast, 9, 10 o'clock, something like that. She'll be up at 5 in the morning. She's bright eyed and bushy tailed, like I'm ready for presents.
That's me. That's me.
Oh, is that you?
Yeah. I'm like that person who's like, it's Christmas Day. Chaos.
Oh, that's great. I love it. No, it's always fun to be around folks like that because it's part of the spirit of the season, right?
Yeah.
Um, but at some years I do just want to sleep in. But to answer your question, what we usually do is I try and sleep in. Megan's wide awake right away. We'll go downstairs and we'll make some breakfast for the two of us, and then we'll exchange presents, and then we'll head to my in-laws later on in the day and exchange presents with them as well. So it's a little bit of driving around, but you try and see your family and make it worth it, because at the end of the day, it's all about family, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
What's the one thing you missed about Canada when you left?
Man, you guys have some of the best food. I really like the food that I had out in Vancouver. All the restaurants I went to were all really, really good. Nanaimo sushi that I went with you, that was delicious. Nanny took me to oh gosh, the name's gonna escape me, but it was like a island with like a market and there was a bunch of restaurants on there. Um, I'll probably remember the name and text you later. You can edit my lips to put it right over here. But, uh, no, again, all the restaurants we went to out there were super super good. And Miranda, I was telling Elliot that typically here in Michigan we don't eat a lot of saltwater, seafood, at least for sushi, just because it's all been frozen to get here. And you guys have the luxury of being right there on the ocean. It's super fresh and it comes off the water. So
Yeah.
I took full advantage of that while I
Huh.
was out there.
That's interesting. Huh. That's yeah, I had some of my family come to visit our house just to check it out because they hadn't seen it in a while. So yeah, but that was just a different type of visit. Wasn't like a holiday visit, so that's different.
Well, those are good too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Well, the closest, as I was actually gonna say earlier, the closest I get to with Christmas, besides my dad here, is chatting with Elliot this way on Christmas Day or something.
Mm-hmm.
I would count that as a Christmas tradition.
And
Okay.
we also send each other presents like through the mail because that's the easiest way to do.
See, listen to Miranda downplaying all her Christmas stuff. She's got a bunch of stuff going on.
Yeah. How about you?
Meaning what? My dad and I doing our Christmas here and stuff.
You
Yeah.
talked to Elliott on the podcast virtually.
Yeah.
He just said you exchanged presents. That's 2 more things.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I do a Christmas card for him every year.
Yeah.
See, you're underselling it. You do a lot of Christmas stuff.
Yeah, maybe I just don't know that because it's not the same as physically in person. Yeah, meaning maybe I sometimes forget about that because it's such a new thing I'm doing here. And especially with the pandemic happening, it's kind of screwed things up a little bit.
Well,
Even if I came to Vancouver again to
mm,
see Elliott or whatever, it would still cost money because you go by ferry.
yeah, but it's good to
That
see
was
your
interesting for, oh, sorry, Elliott, go ahead.
friends. No, you go first.
I was just saying that was something that was new for me as well. Elliott was all the ferries. We don't have the need for that out here. But it was pretty cool getting to ride a boat everywhere. I did enjoy that.
Yeah,
What were you gonna say, Elliott?
it's good to see your friends like in town.
That's right, yeah. So anyway, we've had fun chatting with you, and it's good for Elliott to connect with you here today again and me to meet you.
Mhm.
Absolutely. The pleasure's mutual. Thank you for having me
Yeah.
on, you guys.
And make sure you get your other friends to like and subscribe to our podcast if they're interested.
Absolutely.
And it'd be good to hear from you again in the future.
I talked to you like 3 days ago, dude.
Yeah.
I'm meeting on the podcast.
Oh, okay, yeah, we can do that too.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I hope you have a good day, Eden.
All right, you too. Have a
All
great day.
right. Bye, Eden.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.